Yeah, it's all work for hire, so that the copyright is retained by us or by the libraries we represent. However, the revenue share in most cases, 99% of the cases, goes on in perpetuity. So when we get money, the composer gets money on the sync side, and then of course the performance is split 50-50. Yeah, contractually it's a work for hire with an obligation to pay and share the revenue. Yeah, but the copyright is owned by the library. Now there are cases where we don't own the copyrights, like the NFL music, the EA music, things like that. We don't own those copyrights. And EA owns them, NFL owns them, but we don't own them. In the Indy 911 project that we're doing, we are not taking ownership of those copyrights, but these are primarily songs that people have already written. What we're doing, the only right we're getting is the exclusive synchronization right for no less than a year, just for that song. And that has proven to be fine with a lot of artists, and because they don't have to give up their entire catalog. But in that case, we don't take on the copyright. And the rationale behind that is that what is current today, what networks and cable networks and broadcast and studios are demanding today in terms of independent singer-songwriter material is not going to be the same thing that they're going to be demanding a year from now. The styles change so rapidly that to make a large investment in production of music across a very, very wide variety and broad scope, breadth of independent music doesn't make sense. The return on investment won't be there because we're not going to have all of the other monetization parts of mechanical sales and things. And so an artist who's created a piece of work in their home studio or whatever has a vested interest in wanting to get that out there. And this, they're going to obviously go the digital download route and the marketing route, but this realm of synchronization through this mechanism that we've set up offers a very, very easy, virtually frictionless way of independent writers being able to get their material submitted and heard and possibly accepted and then distributed for consideration by people who are doing synchronization. And they're not giving up any more than they would be giving up if they were just coming into the library, and they're not obligated to for the long term. So I think it's a very, very good way for artists to get known. As we build more social networking capabilities into our own sites, we're going to be able to share marketing. We're going to be able to offer marketing assistance to these independent artists. So somebody's up there on the page, there can be a link that says click here to hear more songs by that artist, that kind of thing. The material comes from them to us. Right. And then we take it in and we synchronize it in. So for synchronization, they're in our universe on our website. And if let's say they find a composer, a songwriter that they like, there'll be a button that says click here to hear more by that songwriter. And then firstly, we'll take them to other material that we have. And then after that, if we don't have it, we might create a mechanism to request it from them. We have clients asking for this and this. Is there anything else that you'd like to submit, that kind of thing? And would you like to learn more about this artist? And then some of that material might be on our site, some will be on the Indy 911 site. So we're just working out all the mechanics of that. But that's really where a lot of the growth is going to happen. When you are licensing a song to us through our indie program, and it goes into our library, it's exclusive in our library for a year just for synchronization rights. You can do anything else that you want with it. You can put it onto a CD, you can put it onto iTunes, you just can't offer it for synchronization. And you can perform it, anything else that you want. Because it's a song that's on the shelf and it's only a song, it doesn't tie them up in any other way. If something happened and happens that a commercial comes along and says, hey, I heard that song and I love that and I was going to pay $1 million, the fact is we have that right, but it doesn't happen that often. And most of these songs have been sitting on a shelf maybe for even more than the year that we would be getting the exclusive of. So we're trying to find good material, and we're trying to be a value add to songwriters. We're not trying to prevent them from doing things. And so far so good. If somebody already has a CD on the market, depending on what the deal is that they have with the owner of the master recording, would dictate whether or not they can actually come to us and put something into our library for synchronization. If they funded their own recording and they're self-funding and they're their own record company, they can do what they want. If they've given rights to the record company, some record company, be it a small one like an independent or a large one, then it really is a matter of what rights they've actually given that record company. So if they've given the record company exclusive synchronization rights, then they can't do anything. If the record company paid for the master, then they're going to certainly have a say in it. If the independent person paid for the whole thing themselves, the whole production, then is just giving it to the record company for distribution. In that case, generally speaking, that distribution right is going to be limited to the sale of the CD or maybe possibly additionally digital download rights. In most cases, is not going to include synchronization rights.